Hey everyone, Mr. Nathan here. I'm going to do a quick video breaking down some of the more challenging chords for a beginner guitar player. So I remember when I started playing guitar, the first thing you do is you'll learn a lot of your open chords. So you learn E minor, and E, A minor, A, D, G, C starts to get a little bit challenging, but then you get that, and then F. Not the bar chord version, but the one kind of shaped, kind of like a cousin to the C chord. But you get those open chords down, and then you typically will play songs that incorporate those chords. But that leaves you a little bit limited because there's going to be songs that you want to learn that incorporate other chords that you're going to have to face that dreaded bar chord shape. Now, one option is just to practice that bar chord shape. And if you want me to do a video on how to approach that, I teach a lot of beginner guitar players, and that's one of those, testing grounds of how much you want to play guitar, because eventually getting into the bar chords it's gonna creep up at some point, at least having to do more with your left hand than those open shapes. So one option for getting those bar chords down is just to practice and play a lot, and you can't beat just the time you put in to strengthen your hand. That is gonna really pay dividends and allow you to play those more complicated shapes that expands your catalog of songs you can play. But in the meantime, as your hand's getting stronger, one of the things I do with my students is I give them alternative shapes that at least allow them to fill in those gaps in a chord progression. So I'm going to go through a few of those today, kind of a few alternative versions that hopefully for you, if you're coming up against these shapes or these chords in your chord progression, you'll have a tool. And again, these aren't the chords, and I'll show you kind of how they're different. So keep working at it, keep strengthening your hand so that you can play those chords. So don't stop here, but this is kind of a bridge from hopeless, I only have these open chords, I can't play these other songs I like because I can't play the bar chord, and eventually getting to where you can play the actual chord. So one of the chords that comes up a lot is a B minor. So if you're playing, G, a lot of these open chords are going to incorporate the B minor shape, whether it's you're playing in D or G. A lot of these open keys, open chords that associate with these keys are going to incorporate a B minor. So a B minor bar chord is that. So that's your goal. But if you can't do that, one option is to put your middle finger on the A string 2nd fret, and then your ring finger underneath, kind of like an A shape with your hand, on the G string, and then your pinky. Everything is stacked vertically on the 2nd fret of the E string. So you have this. So I'm going to play G, A to the regular B minor bar chord, and then throw in this alternative shape. So here's a G, then regular B minor. Now here's the alternative. So not 100%, but you can hear it's close enough, and it'll get you there so that you can play these songs. And that's such a focus for me and my students, is getting the tool so you can play a song and play it all the way through, and play these songs that you like. So that's an alternative for a B minor, is middle, ring, and pinky all on the 2nd fret stacked. And again, if you're playing an A, kind of I barred it, but if you play it with middle, ring, and pinky, all you do is fan those fingers out. There's an A. So it's very approachable in terms of kind of what your fingers are required to do. Another one is an F sharp and an F sharp minor. So an F sharp minor chord. So I'm going to play an A to an E and then an F sharp minor bar chord. So here's an A. So that's what you want to get to. You want to get to where you can play that. But if you can't do that, here's an alternative. You can wrap your thumb around, and this is good practice for having to do, or having the skill to do this later on, where you're barring with your or you're bringing your thumb around. Thumb on the 2nd fret, and then bar, or you can play like your regular A on the 2nd fret. So 2nd fret E string or 6th string with your thumb, and then a regular A, and you basically have this. So I'm going to play E, A, E, and then the regular F sharp minor bar chord, and then I'll throw in the alternative. So here's the standard. And here's our alternative. Now, you can leave that A string open, but if you end up kind of looping your thumb around and it hits that A string and you're muting it, that's okay too. So here's muted and here's open. So minuscule difference. And again, speaking in the context of like just a beginner guitar player wanting to get chords, expand your chord library so you can play more songs. So again, here's a B minor alternative, F sharp minor alternative. Now, looking into maybe a G sharp minor. These come up a lot too. Just take that same shape and move it up. Okay, so again, not 100% the chord, but it will get you another chord that you can use. So a G sharp minor or the 4th fret minor chord, you can just use the same shape as we were using for the F sharp minor or a 2nd fret minor chord. Okay, C sharp minor comes up a lot in these chord progressions, and speaking from the context of a lot of these open chords and these keys, you'll find those in. What you can do is, again, learn the bar chord. So I'm going to do an E, A, to a C sharp minor, and here's the bar chord. What you can do, instead of having to bar, you can actually do an alternative this way. A ring finger on 4th fret A, pointer finger, 2nd fret D, and then pinky on 4th fret G. So here's the chords. Regular bar chord. Now here's the alternative. So again, keep saying it like a broken record. It's not the same chord, but if you're thinking in context of a chord progression or playing a song, it at least will be a bridge so that you can play these songs. And the point of it is that the more you're playing, the stronger your hand is getting, more comfortable you're getting in terms of the technique of chords, strumming, listening to a song, playing. All these other skills are developing. And then at a certain point, sooner than later, especially the more you play, you're going to get to where you can borrow those chords and play the actual versions. And then that unlocks so many songs that you're wanting to play, having that technique in your hand and the strength to borrow those notes. So we walked through a few. So you got a B minor, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp minor. And that at least expands your chord library in these open chord positions by a few chords. If there's other chords that you're struggling with as a beginner guitar player and you're wondering, what's an alternative because I want to play this song, how do I do that? Comment below, and I'd love to make another video that kind of gives you some tools. That's one of my goals here on this channel, is just to help you get off the ground. You know, that's what I do with my students all the time, is just have them pick a song that they love. It doesn't matter the difficulty. And then it's my job to kind of like put that through a filter of, okay, you can't play those chords, it's too difficult at your stage, but let's find a way, you know, that we can still play those songs. And that's been my journey, is learning by ear mainly, but trying to figure out, I want to play that song and I don't want to wait until I can do that exact chord. What's a version of it I could play, and then eventually get to where I can play it. So I hope that was helpful. Again, hopefully that helps expand your chord library and your chord vocabulary a little bit when you're looking at chord charts and figuring out songs. And like the video if this is helpful, subscribe to the channel. That helps kind of give me a boost to make more of these videos. And then if you have specific examples of chords or songs that you're struggling with, just comment below, and I'd be happy to make a video that can help you with what you're working on. So have fun playing, expand your chord library, and I'll see you in the next video.